I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of tired for this video today, guys. Sometimes I just feel kind of out of it. And today I feel out of it. Shout out to Young Stars Movement for sending me this dope hat. I need more beanies in my life, so thank you. I'm gonna link them down below. Check them out. What's going on, crew? My name is Andrew. Welcome back to a brand new exciting video. Today we're talking about something a little bit different. The other day I was going back and watching some of my old videos, some of the first videos I ever created ever. In the beginning, like when I was using iMovie and Final Cut Pro and just dipping into After Effects and Premiere Pro and everything like that. And I just noticed all this stuff. I was like, why did I do that? And I know it was just because I was new and I was figuring things out and I was stupid and young, whatever. But I wish now I could go back in time and tell myself not to do the stupid things I was doing in editing and everything like that. But I thought I'd do the next best thing, which is warning you guys about 10 beginner editing mistakes that I wish I knew when I first was starting out. These mistakes are simple, they're not that hard to fix, you just kind of need to know them and apply them to your videos. Now, one disclaimer I do want to say before we get into this video, editing is really just subjective. Do what you think is best. These are just my personal preferences. If you disagree with them, that's cool. Do your own thing. What works for me in editing might not work for you, so just keep that in the back of your mind. That being said, guys, be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it, and let's jump in. First mistake I see tons of people making all the time, and I used to do in my own videos, is using log LUTs on Rec 709 footage. Now that might sound kind of fancy, but trust me, it's not that complicated. Essentially all it is using LUTs that were designed for log footage on video that wasn't shot in log. Now if you guys don't know what log is, it's essentially just a super flat picture profile. The contrast is super low, the saturation is super low, so LUTs designed for log footage bump up the contrast a ton, bump up the saturation a ton, and just bump up everything a ton. So if you apply those log LUTs to footage that already has the saturation up, already has the contrast up, it makes the footage look so bad, just pixely and super contrasted and dark and saturated and just bad. So essentially all I'm trying to say is make sure your LUTs aren't too powerful for your footage. The second mistake I wish I avoided is not using any sound effects. The other day I was watching my video, which is like the editing debate or solving the editing debate or something like that, and in the beginning I've got an edit which is pretty cool. It's got some pretty cool effects made in After Effects and stuff like that, but the entire intro of the video has zero sound effects. And I was just watching it and something just felt off, and at first I couldn't put my finger right on it, and then I was like, wait, there's no sound effects, it's just music. You can't hear anything. I took out all of the sound from the actual video files, so all you are hearing, the only thing you are hearing was the music. Don't do that. Bad idea. It will not look right. It looks off. It looks unprofessional, and you're gonna look like a beginner. So make sure if you're making any kind of edit, intro, whatever, you're using at least some sound effects. Now, the third mistake I wish I'd known sooner, and this is sort of a caveat to the last point, which is using way too many bird sound effects. When I was first starting off editing with sound effects, the one thing that I would always add to like all of my footage was bird chirping sound effects, because most places in the world there's gonna be at least some kind of bird that's chirping. I used to pretty much just drop like a bird sound effect background and just extend it across the entire timeline, and then like the entire edit there would just be like these birds chirping in the background. Don't do that. Just use them sparingly. Don't overuse the bird chirping sound effect. Fourth mistake that I wish I knew sooner was not using transitions over every single cut, especially preset transitions. What I mean by preset transitions would be like a zoom transition or like the drag and drop transitions in Premiere Pro or After Effects. This is like the telltale sign that you're kind of new to editing, so just stay away from this. The next mistake that a lot of people make is exporting footage more than once. Never do this. Re-exporting footage more than once massively decreases the quality of the video. Every time you re-export a video, it's just gonna drop and drop and drop and drop into quality until it's pretty much unrecognizable. You should pretty much always just export the actual file itself, the fresh file from After Effects or wherever you edit it. You should always export it just once. So just stay away from that. Tip number 6 is a little bit vague, a little bit loose, but in general, it's just make sure you choose songs that actually fit with the footage that you're editing. I can't even tell you how many times I've done this, and I've seen this on Instagram, where I would use or people would use like super upbeat music, like just hard bass hitting drop EDM dance hardcore music for like an edit at like a golf course or something. Just try to choose music that fits with the overall vibe of the video. Now obviously this is very subjective, it's going to change from person to person, but in general I think we can all kind of tell when a song is out of place, so just watch out for that. Now the next tip is beginners not using keyboard shortcuts. If you guys haven't taken the time to go and look at the keyboard shortcuts for Premiere Pro or whatever editing editing software you use, I strongly recommend that you do that. It cannot be overstated how much it's going to help your workflow, increase your speed, and everything like that. Take the time to actually learn the keyboard shortcuts for your software. It 100% pays off. The next tip is that when you're creating your rough cut for your video, you should 100% use the preview window inside of Final Cut Pro or Premiere Pro, or pretty much whatever software you use is probably going to have some form of a preview window. What I used to do back in the day is I would take my footage, drag it right onto the timeline, and then start cutting it up on the timeline and editing it like that. The way faster way to do that is to double click on the footage inside of the project panel. That opens it up in the preview. You can use the in and out buttons to select the part of the footage that you want, and then you can drag it into your timeline. This is way faster, way cleaner, and just a better way to edit inside of Premiere Pro or whatever software you use. Tip number 9, we're getting pretty close to the end now, is using footage for sky replacements that don't actually match the original video. I cannot tell you how many times I've fallen into this trap. So many of my sky replacements look like absolute garbage because I used time lapses or stock footage or whatever that just did not match the footage that I had originally shot. The safest way to get around this is if you're doing a sky replacement, replace the sky with footage you've actually shot. Now, sometimes you just don't have the option to get that footage, so you do have to opt for stock footage. That's totally fine. That happens to all of us. So just be very meticulous when choosing the actual stock footage. Make sure you choose some footage that actually matches your video, and it's going to make a world of difference in any kind of sky replacement that you do. The last tip, the final tip I have for you guys, is sort of separated from editing, but I think it's really important just to mention. That's thinking you can fix everything in editing. I see so many edits on Instagram. I look back on my own videos, and the edit itself is pretty good. There's some complicated effects. They're doing some pretty advanced things, but the footage looks like garbage. It just doesn't look good, and the video would be 20 times better if they just had some decent footage to work with. Make sure you're focusing on the cinematography of the video and not just relying on After Effects to fix all of your problems in post. And there you go, guys. Those are my 10 beginner mistakes that pretty much everyone makes in the beginning. I certainly made them in the beginning, and I hope if you guys are new to editing or if you're super experienced in editing, I hope you guys learned something new and you guys can apply these to your own personal workflow. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up and let me know down in the comments below what kind of videos you guys want to see in the future, and then also be sure to follow me on Instagram at AndrewJamES. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really do hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.